Hey everyone, welcome back to Bookishrealm, or if you've already been here, thank you, or if you're new here. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. Gonna be tongue-tied. Okay, so it is the first week of July. I am back in the mojo of kind of filming again because I definitely had a busy June. It was a very stressful and busy month for me, and so we're trying to get back into some normal type of routine filming here. And since it is July, we are looking at kind of the midpoint of the year. So this week specifically, I'm going to be focusing on some mid-year check-ins and looking at my reading so far this year. So for this first video, as you can see from the title of it, I'm gonna be doing a mid-year goal check-in. Hopefully in the next couple of days, you'll be seeing me do the mid-year book freakout tag so we could talk a little bit about the best and worst books that I've read so far this year. All right, so I went back and I watched my mid-year check-in, my 2023 goals video, and it was really long. I talk a lot. I talk a whole lot. And so what I did was I listed all of the major points that I had in that goal video. Now, I already knew from watching that video there were going to be some goals that I was doing okay with and some goals that I actually have ended up scrapping 6 months in, which is perfectly fine. I don't think it really, this is not death or life or death type of situation. I think that I had some expectations of myself thinking about what I wanted to do going into this new year, and then of course as we start living the actual year, we realize that some things are not as achievable as they may have seemed in months prior. So the first goal that I had, which is interesting enough, the first goal that I had was the 100,000 page goal. One of the things that I realized is that in June, and I think in May and June, I ended up reading a lot, but that is a very busy time for me at work. And so what I found was that I was reading a lot, but I wasn't doing a good job at tracking. And I actually have made a decision not to track as heavily as I was doing at the beginning of the year. I'm not saying that I won't track at all, but I just got to a point where I was like, I just don't feel like tracking. And so right now on my Goodreads, I am currently reading 70 plus books. I am not seriously currently reading 70 plus books. I've actually finished a great majority of those books. I just have not written my reviews yet. So my page count is actually lower when I go on Goodreads and I look at the data for my page count. It's lower than what it technically is. And so I have a strong feeling that I am somewhere around where I need to be for the first half of the year. Maybe not exactly 50,000 pages, but I think that I'm from the amount that I've been reading and the length of the stuff that I've been reading, I think that we are going to do okay getting towards a 100-page goal. And if 100,000, not 100, getting towards 100,000, I probably have been saying 100 right now, and I definitely meant 100,000 page goal. And even if I don't reach that goal, it's okay. Like I had the same goal last year, and I think I got somewhere in between like 94 to 96,000 pages read instead of focusing solely on the number of books read, which is, it's all right. It's perfectly fine. But I think that I am somewhere in the ballpark where I need to be. My goal for July is to catch up on reviews as much as possible. I am taking some time off in the month of July and not going on vacation, not doing anything. It's just time for me to relax and catch up on things that I feel like I need to catch up on. So I'll have a better idea of that come probably the end of this month. The next goal that I had was to be more intentional about my international reading, which the plan was to do that through the Around the World Reading Challenge. As you all know, I have filmed one of those videos. You can check it out in the card symbol above. The first country that I ended up doing was Venezuela. It did end up taking me a little bit more time than I anticipated. That video is close to an hour long, if not an hour. I think it's somewhere in the 50-minute to hour ballpark range. And I did a lot with that exploration of that country. I love the comments that I received on that. People really appreciated the in-depth analysis of what the country is looking like politically, economically, the history of the country, the food, the language, reading the translated work. And I am being intentional. I'm being intentional in a different way though, where I'm not trying to fly through reading translated works. I am trying to immerse myself in the history and culture of these countries. So these videos are going to take me a little bit longer than what I anticipated, but I can say that I am happy that that first video is out. I am moving a lot slower than I anticipated, but it ended up being a lot more content than I anticipated. So we are doing okay with that. I know that I wanted to do like one every month. Not gonna happen, not with the amount of content that I'm covering. And then I was thinking about doing 3 countries in every video, and not gonna happen because of the amount of content. So I'm focusing on 1 country a video, and you know, the goal in my head is maybe every other month, but I'm not holding myself to a hard, fast deadline because I want it to be as authentic as possible in the experience that I'm curating. Now, the next goal that I have, I know for a fact, I have done absolutely nothing with. Like nothing. Absolutely nothing. For some reason, I said that in the year of 2023, I wanted to explore more classics, which is ironic because I just made a video talking about how I really don't like classics, and I struggle with classics because I think of how I've been conditioned to view classics and what I had been exposed to as a child in secondary school with classics. And so I found it very interesting that that was a goal. I'm not sure what state of mind I was in, and I like doing these check-ins for this reason, that every time that I set goals, or, you know, just looking at things from years past, you grow and evolve as a person. And even within 6-7 months of me making that previous video, I am really coming to terms with the fact that, you know, I do want to explore classics, but I have to figure out a way that's going to work best for me, and not necessarily a way that is going to be, you know, going with the trend of what everyone else expects of me. So there's that. I definitely have not accomplished this goal. I don't even think that I see this as a goal going through the rest of 2023. I have been exploring children's classics a little bit more. So in some ways I am doing it, but I'm not exploring classics in the way that I think that people think about classics, which is typically, you know, the big chunky adult books. But I have been reading children's classics. Like I read Peter Pan this year. I ended up reading the House in the Big Woods. I read all of that stuff. But as far as like adult classics, I haven't really explored that. The next one is a goal too that I am slightly disappointing myself, not like, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world, but one that I knew that I wanted to do, and I still don't think I've been doing an excellent job. I have been covering them, but not at the level that I've wanted to. And a lot of that has to do with the fact of trying to figure out whether it's content that people even want. But in that video, I specifically said I have got to really hone in on finding a balance. Content that is, you know, I'm passionate about, content that people want to see. I'm still working, trying to figure out that balance. And so that goal was to highlight and recommend more picture books. Now, when I've been doing some of these weekly wrap-ups, which is the next goal, where I was like, I wanted to do weekly wrap-ups, and we all figured out very, very quickly that that was not a goal that was going to work specifically for me, just because of the nature of my schedule, how I would have to film and edit, and it just became too much. And it was supposed to make the video shorter, but the video still ended up being like an hour long. It was just, that goal just didn't work out. But I wanted to highlight and recommend more picture books, and like I said, I was covering them in those weekly wrap-ups. I've talked about them in some of my favorite videos, but I think that I specifically want to start doing more with them, and I'm not too sure if I want to do more with them on YouTube, to be honest with you. I think that the place where I have found where people really, really want those picture book recommendations are quick, more fast-paced platforms like Instagram. If I do more picture book recommendations, I'm thinking that I may have to create them as shorts, YouTube shorts. I think that in terms of doing like full-blown videos, it probably is not going to necessarily happen. I am reading and trying to track more of my picture books. I'm doing a better job about that. Not 100%, but I am trying to do as best as I can. And so we're gonna keep working on that one. The next goal that I had for myself for 2023 was to do more creative vlogs, which, you know what? I feel like I have tapped into that a little bit more. I think there's still room for me to do more. I did another Black Mermaid reading vlog, which was really, really exciting, which I timed for the release of the new Little Mermaid. I also ended up doing a reading vlog where my patrons control what I read for the Trans Rights Readathon. I did the Around the World reading vlog. So there's more, I think, creative things happening with my vlogs. I still want to do more. I think that there's room for me, and I'm pulling up my content now. I have done more sit down videos than I've done in the past, but I am making an effort to kind of shake things up a little bit. I've done the banned book diary reading vlog, which was really, really fun. And so, you know, like, there's some stuff that's getting mixed into the fold that I'm really, really enjoying as a creator. The next goal was to post at least 2 times a week, which for the most part, I am doing 2 times a week. There have been times when I've done 3 times a week. There have been times when I was doing more than 3 times a week. It all averages out to about 2 times a week. I know that in June, it was a little bit more difficult because of my schedule. So I was only doing once. I think I was uploading maybe like once a week. But still, even with me uploading once a week, I still have been pretty much, I think, more consistent than I've ever been in my content, where I'm not just kind of like disappearing and not doing anything. There's stuff that's going on, but I am being realistic and taking care of me first, which is what I'm most proud of this year, is that I have put book creation, content, reading, all of that stuff to the side when I feel like it is not benefiting me in the moment, when I feel like putting myself in relaxation and taking care of myself, self-care needs to be a priority. I am trying to stay away from that hustle culture mentality, and it's very difficult because I think that's just the way of the world right now. But I know for me, I'm trying to wipe my hands of doing all that stuff. The next one that I have is one that I have not accomplished. I haven't done this at all, and that's more recommendation videos. I don't know why I haven't done this. I think I just don't know where to start with recommendations. So when I had made a notation of this and I thought about it before sitting down and filming this video, I was like, I haven't done recommendations videos because I don't know like what recommendations are people looking for. So I don't want to throw this task to you, but as viewers, people who frequent my channel, what are some recommendations that you would like to see from me? Like, what do you want recommendations for? I know that in the previous video that I did about can we please stop doing this, where I was like, people were conflating the use of children's middle grade and YA and adult and not really understanding the differentiations between the age categories. I know that I do want to do a video recommending, if I get the word out, recommending different books for certain age categories. That is still on my priority list to do. I just haven't decided if I want to do it as one big video or if I want to break it up by age category. If you have any ideas about that, let me know. But also, like, what recommendation videos would you like to see from me? Like, I read all over the place. Like, I literally, it is my job to do reader's advisory. It's my job to be in the know. So, like, I really want people to tell me, like, what do you, as viewers, what would you like to see from me? The last two, one of them I actually ended up scrapping because I just don't feel comfortable doing it at this moment. And the other one is one that I'm still working towards. So the one that I'm still working towards is finding balance with content, which I think I'm doing I'm doing a better job with that. When I say finding balance with content, what I mean is creators have a knowledge of knowing what videos are going to hit and which ones have potential not to hit, what are not high interest. I know for me, usually my discussion videos, the ones where I am also kind of doing like, I'm never going to do these. This is books I'm never going to read, authors I'm never going to touch, authors I used to like but don't like anymore. Like, those that are kind of like drama based, those always get me high views without fail. I don't even have to cross promote those videos. I don't have to share those videos anywhere. I know that once I upload them, they're pretty much good to go. Now, some other videos that I feel like I'm more passionate about, which is like the Little Mermaid video, even the Around the World video, the trans rights readathon video, like, those videos take a lot of cross promotion and pushing because they're not watched the way they are, the way that the more drama negative based content is. And unfortunately, that's just the way of the world, and I pretty much have to kind of, you know, deal with that. But I think that finding that balance is what is super, super important for me. And the last thing that I feel like I'm just not going to do this year, I think I've kind of pulled back on this idea, is the author interviews. I really wanted to try that this year. I'm sorry if y'all hear noise in the background. This is my baby playing with puzzles, which is, I always tell y'all, listen, we get it how we get it around this house. She's got to thrive. So if that's not for you, I don't know what to tell you. But what I wanted to do was explore more author interviews, but I'm not comfortable right now, and it's for a number of different reasons why I'm not comfortable right now, and I don't know where I would want to start, who I would want to start with, but I think that that's an option that I'm going to carry over to next year. So I wanted to, but some things it's a whole, I've had a whole conversation with some people about this, and so I think I'm just gonna hold off a little bit more and then see how it goes going into next year. All right, y'all, let me know what your goals were for 2023 at this midpoint check-in. Like, how do you feel about your goals, and do you feel like you've accomplished any? Let me know what type of recommendation videos you would like to see from me. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content from me, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're looking to follow me on social media, support this channel, all the links will be down in the description box below, and I'll be back with another video soon.